Lisbon! Good morning! Apologies for the slightly late start. That is entirely my fault. Yes, I decided to get an Uber. He went one way, and yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Thank you so much for your patience. Who's ready for the quarterfinal of pitch? You're not excited, are you? I said, who is ready for the quarterfinal of pitch? Just because it's 9:45 does not mean we are asleep. We're wide awake. We're pumped. Much like these guys and gals. What? This is, whoa. Where are the female founders? Sorry. Okay, cool. So for those of you who don't know what about pitch, pitch is a live action on stage startup battle. Where some of the best startups here at Web Summit have been selected, and they're here to pitch in front of this wonderful panel of judges. Say hi, judges. I said say hi, judges. They thought they were immune from it. They thought they could get away from it. So there are 10 startups taking part in this quarterfinal, and I remember this well. About 5, 6 years ago, it was me up on this stage. It was Dublin, a little bit different, a little bit smaller, but it was quite a transformative experience. Ended up raising some money, and then at a subsequent conference, finding someone who actually then bought my startup, which is now why I get to be a VC, which is pretty cool. So, guys and gals, anything can happen. So, the way this works is each startup has 3 magical minutes to pitch to this esteemed panel of industry veterans, and then they get the most fun bit. They get torn apart by the wolves for 3 whole minutes. Will there be nice wolves? Will there be mean wolves? Oh, I'm seeing mean wolf. I like mean wolves. Way more entertaining. Way more entertaining. Anyway, so 4 startups from this bit will go through to the quarterfinals. And there's another quarterfinal going on, which is currently taking place in the other hall. So, before we go much further, I'd like to introduce our panel of esteemed judges. Susan from FCB, wave! Yay! Sid from Oma's Ventures, yay! Amanda from Cisco, no? Oh, we don't have, oh, sorry. We have Masha from Day One, and then we have Gabrielle from, pardon? Breed Reply, excellent, cool, woo! Okay, so they're going to be judging the startups on 5 categories. I hope you're paying attention. Product, potential to disrupt, financials, ew, money. Who makes money? We're venture-backed startups. I'm kidding. The quality, the team, and the quality of the pitch. You got that, guys and gals? Excellent. Right, coming up to the mic is our first startup. I'd like to introduce Vlipsy. Paul, take the stand.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Paul from Vlipsy. We're a discovery platform for video content, making it easy to find and share videos from your favorite TV shows, movies, sports, games, entertainment, and more. I'm talking very much about short-form video, micro moments of content, a funny quote, an epic scene, an incredible moment. I guarantee that everyone in this room will send at least one emoji, sticker, or GIF in the next couple of days. You've probably already done so. It's a natural and fluid and creative way to talk and chat. People do this all the time. But it's actually really hard to send video. Now remember, I'm not talking about sending a 15-minute YouTube video that clicks open another app and you have to watch a pre-roll ad. I'm talking about that precise second of content that you wanted to share. The show me the money line from Jerry Maguire. It hasn't been easy to do that up until now. What Vlipsy has built is a search engine for this type of video content. We transform written text into expressive video. We're a collection of tools, extensions, add-ins, and APIs that make this work pretty easily, pretty much anywhere. We're already reaching very large audiences. We've built native integrations with messaging apps like Viber and Skype. And these are huge apps with hundreds of millions of users. People in those apps can easily find and share video content from Vlipsy without installing anything, without learning anything, no SDKs. We're continuing to extend our reach with more integrations in development, from large apps to smaller messaging chat apps. We've been pretty cautiously optimistic about our growth plan. We wanted to add integrations, refine the content, improve the product. So we projected a steady growth rate, but we've actually exceeded that. People really like to send these pieces of content. It's very familiar. It's like a GIF. It's like a sticker. It's just the next version of that, a more expressive and engaging version. So we've really been focusing a lot on these platform integrations, setting up these deals with these partners. What's the business model? Now remember, this is a search platform. So like a search engine has organic results, search engines basically monetize through promoted results and sponsored content. In our case, we'd be talking about sponsored video. So if it's Wednesday morning, people are a little bit dusty from last night, they need a coffee, they could look up coffee, and maybe there's a Starbucks flip in our library, which is promoted by Starbucks, tied into the social graph as an advertising tool. Consumable, shareable, we get insights, metrics we can tie into our partners. Competitive landscape is tough. There's a lot of people out there, but what we're really focused on is it's not live video, it's curated non-live video, and it's not GIFs, it's video content. As a team, we've been in this space for a long time. We've worked at entertainment companies like Disney and fast-growing messaging apps like Yik Yak and Kik. We have the roadmap, we have traction, we have team, we have Vlipsy, we have shareable video clips. Thanks.
Okay. Ready, lions, wolves, whatever you want to call the UVCs. 3 minutes of Q&A starts now.
Paul, thanks for great presentation. Quick question on IP. How are you thinking about rights, et cetera, and how do you guys tackle that in terms of producers that have content that they don't necessarily want cut, distributed, shared?
It's a great question, and it's interesting when we talk to partners on that side of the spectrum, it's the distinction between talking to a licensing team and a marketing team. So the way we position it is like TV advertising. It's like a trailer before the movie that you go to watch. It's not the actual movie. These pieces of content are less than 30 seconds, so it's not like you're watching an entire episode, which would then essentially be pirating and stealing that content. So sometimes we run into the licensing folks and we generally say, hey, look, this is a marketing tool. It's a way that you can reach huge audiences with essentially advertising. And as soon as we start talking to the marketing teams, they buy into it and make sense. So on the content side, we're working with Mars, we're testing some things out there with M&Ms, and lots of animation and TV shows are starting to come on board.
I have a question about your leadership team. How do you feel about diversity when it comes to putting together a team?
It's a good question, and it's something we're cognizant of. It's, we're 12 people, we're very tiny, and the way it started is 3 of us worked together at Kik. So 2 guys who then founded this company last year, and I joined at the beginning of the year. And it's one of those things where it's just friends and people that you've kind of worked with over time. But yes, diversity is something we need to look at as we scale and grow. It's something we're really aware of. And as we, in my side, it's going to be partnerships. So my focus will be business development people on East Coast and West Coast of the US. So diversity will be key in what I'm looking for.
Great.
Maybe just going back to the point of the content itself and how you differentiate versus the other guys that are already there. What is actually shielding you from someone else going and doing another video rather than a GIF or anything like that?
Sure, I think it's a pretty simple product. It hadn't really been developed out other than products like Vine, which were ultimately bought and then shut down. There's sort of different spectrums you could look at. User-generated content, which Vine was mainly about, versus we're more curated content. We want it to be from the brands and the advertisers. So those types of Instagrams and those are much more about user-generated, independent artists and creators. And on the other side, like GIF format versus video format, it's a file type. It's not that different. But there's a lot of nuance and learning that we've made over the last 12 months in how does a video work? How do you make sure it's optimized? What are the different use cases when people click into content? These are learnings that anyone else that would want to do this would need to go through as well. So we think we've got a bit of a head start now, and we're really establishing ourselves as purely video, whereas some other companies are trying to do video, stickers, GIFs, this, that, much more mix.
What kind of early adopters would you target, and how would you reach to them?
Partner apps. Big messaging apps is our target audience.
I've always liked short, snappy answers. With that, thank you so much. Woo! Okay, okie dokie. So next up, we have Bo from Contentino. Give it up for Bo!
So hey guys, my name is Bo. I'm the CEO of a social media tool called Contentino. And this is John. He's a social media manager and he gets hundreds of emails, Excel sheets and other documents from creative directors, copywriters from his agency to create a really high quality social media content for their clients. And the clients are calling him all the time to give him feedback about the content he creates. And he's not happy about it. Plus, he's not alone. There's over 20 million social media managers and marketeers around the globe. And these guys, they spent only in the US, $31 billion last year. And this number is going to double within the 2 years. Contentino puts all these people into one simple, transparent, intuitive platform where these people can collaborate, exchange emails, exchange files, approve the content. It is like Basecamp or Asana for social media. And this is how it works. Social media manager creates a post or ad in the calendar like this one, uploads an image, writes a copy. If the image sucks, assign a task to a graphic designer, please change the image. The graphic designer goes back to the preview, uploads an image. All communication and file exchange is happening right next to the live post preview. And then it's being sent to a client. Clients approve it, and then it's being exported or scheduled to a particular social media platform. And now we are asking, like, there's so many social media tools out there, like Hootsuite, Buffer, right? Well, these tools are great, but none of these support the collaboration and approval features. So they still need to use emails, Excel sheets, V-transfers, all of those. And it's a pure mess, a lot of miscommunications, a lot of time is wasted. We are having actually 350 paid accounts altogether. It is more than 800 brands and agencies using Contentino worldwide. We are a monthly subscription-based software as a service with monthly recurring revenue, 35,000 euros, 10% monthly growth rate. Annual growth rate is 400%, and we bootstrap, and we are being cash positive. This year, we are going to hit €500,000 in revenue. Next year, we are planning to launch tailored Facebook campaign management module, which is going to purely for Facebook ads, and we will bring another stream of revenue. And also, we will improve our analytics and reporting with some AI, so we can give more hints and feedback to the social media managers about the content they create. We are a team of 6. This is our core team. And in comparison, our direct competitor, they are having similar number of clients as we do, but they are a team of 35, and they've been on the market for 4 years. We are a team of 6, and we've been on the market a little bit over 2 years. So we are hiring, but we are also looking for investors and strategic partners to really help scale our business. Thank you so much.
Give her a Bo Contentino! So, judges, what do we make of that? Who's going to go first? Oh, they're fighting. They're fighting. Sid goes first.
Thanks for that. On the competitive slide, you showed kind of the competitors that are in play today. There are thousands of competitors that are roadkill in this industry today. Like, how do you guys make sure that you guys aren't going to be that roadkill, right? And you guys are going to be on somebody else's slide 5 years from now, talking about the biggest competitor in the space?
We follow the trends. I mean, we know what's going to be. We are social media experts. We are spin-off of advertising, one of the leading advertising agencies in Central Europe. So we know what's ahead. We know how social media is changing. We have a good relationship with some of the Facebook, Instagram account managers from the company. So this is the way to go. You got to know what's ahead, how the industry is going to change.
And in your view, how is the industry going to change?
I can tell that it's hard to predict for long term, but next year, that's why we are planning to add the Facebook Ads Manager, because it's all about ads right now. The organic content is dying, so that's why we are adding such performance, more driven module.
So two questions. One, why isn't FCB working with you, my agency? And then the other one is, how are you going to how does AI affect this? Because this is a very organic human piece. And how do you feel when the competition of AI?
we are creating sub-products. So we kind of wider our range of niche, but we don't want to have it as a bundle product. So we, for example, with AI, we want to provide much better feedback about the content the agency is creating. Because right now, with analytics, all other tools have, they give you raw data, some nice graphs and anything. They don't put the numbers in a context. So the social media manager just look at it and say, well, we've got 100 million reach, but we don't know why. So this is why we want to provide more insightful, in-depth information so the content is more engaging, has higher quality, and provides the results they want.
How are you building brand through social media?
It's a good question. Social media, Facebook especially, is our strongest strongest channel for lead generation. And how we are building brand. That was my question. That was your question. Well, we just try to become not the number one, but the top of mind of a tool. That it's not just about the tool, but it's about the knowledge we share. We also do webinars, we do content, we educate the industry. So we want to be as a thought leaders within the industry. We also go to conferences, speak about the trends, etc., etc.
Okie dokie, time is up.
Thank you.
Give it up for Bo! I said give it up for Bo. Come on, we can do better than that, Lisbon. Thank you. Right, our next chap has got an app called Q-Smash. I feel it may be some sort of rap app, maybe? Is it a rap app? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's Ahsan from Q-Smash. I said it's Ahsan from Q-Smash.
It has been said that British love queues, that they will join one and then ask, what is it for? Well, this is not true. 9 out of 10 shoppers say they avoid a store if the queues are too long. Long queues are damaging customer experience and costing retailers $41 billion every year. Amazon realized that and introduced cashierless stores, Amazon Go. But the question is, how the other retailers going to compete without investing billions of dollars? I'm Ahsan Raza, founder of Q-Smash, and Q-Smash is the answer. Q-Smash is a mobile app. It simply allows you to scan, pay for your shopping, and leave the store without waiting in long queues. It's a single app which you can use at the multiple retailers, and you can even find and pay for your parking and order food and drink at your favorite restaurants. We are developing AI-based security system. Machine learning will continuously learn about the user behavior to improve user experience, and we are integrating into other home assistance devices. But that's not all. With the Q-Smash, you can create your digital shopping list, which tracks your shopping as you scan. If you need to find a product in the store, you can do it through a product locator. Your total control of your spending means through the budget meter, and you don't need to worry about your loyalty wallets automatically collected. If you know more about the product, you can do it with a single swipe, and you get the trailer mode promotions, means more savings. But there are great benefits to our retailers as well. It provides the convenience, means more customer experience, that converts into the increasing sales and reducing operating costs. The advanced analytics provide the confidence to the retailers so they can engage with the customers more confidently, and it creates the opportunity for mobile marketing. It's absolutely free to download and use for the users, and the retailers pay one-off implementation fee and a subscription fee. 5 years, we want to hit 2 billion transactions per year, and that's the point where we want to monetize big data and mobile marketing fee. We can quickly scale up the business and create multiple revenue streams in the multiple markets. Global retail sales were 28 trillion, and we are targeting 10% of the mid-market. We have a great global expansion plan over the next few years. We are releasing a paid beta version by end of this year. We already received a Middle Eastern group and interest from them. They want to take a distribution for Middle East and South Asia. So the core team, myself and Kamran, I'm more than 17 years of experience with strategy and product development, and Kamran has 15 years of experience in payment and retail development, software developments. So where we want to be? So we want to become a preferred platform for shopping and payment, and what we are aiming, we want to eliminate the payment machines and the queues from the retail world and change your life and the shopping experience forever. Thank you very much.
You know, Ahsan wants to save me from and save us all from the plight of queues, which I think is destroying British culture. I'm kidding. Get it? Anyway, guys, judges.
Quick comment just on the, because this is basically a voluntary payment system, right? I'm in, I use the app, I voluntarily check out. When you're looking at the retailers, what sort of hardware components do they need from a security perspective to make sure that I've checked out this clipboard, I've checked out this pen, as opposed to just the clipboard and walking out with the pen?
All right.
And is there any sort of implementation cost, hardware costs that they need to,
Good question.
spend
Everyone
in order
asked
to
that.
get it?
It could be a long one. I try to keep it short. The one thing which we're trying to do is we're not changing any security measures of what they have today. It's not going to change anything. So, for example, if it's the RFID product or the tag product, so as soon as the customer pay it will automatically disable. So whatever the scanners they have, it's going to use it. So we are not changing that. There is no further cost at all. However, we can provide additional security services. So I just mentioned about AI-based security system. It tracks your emotions. For example, if someone feels like that, okay, they're going to do some hanky-panky, that can be caught up. Another quick example is, for example, if you are in a store, so the AI system already knows that there are 20 devices who are connected. So if, for example, someone trying to pretend, they can't do it. So because every scan, every payment is actually going through the system as well. But there is no additional cost to the retailer for that.
Just to add a little bit to this, in terms of integration, obviously, you have a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, it's not so straightforward to get all the retailers to get on your app rather than using their own, maybe white labeled app,
Yes.
And there's a variety of approach out there. So number one is integration, so where you are. Number two, in terms of actual traction, what have you done to date? How much of it is already out there? How much of it is something you have in mind on the roadmap?
Okay, firstly, your second question. We're already working with a couple of the cafes, the trial basis, and one of the restaurants. We are in discussion with the 2 supermarkets. We already signed up one, which we are releasing the beta version by end of this year, and that's in UK. We already started in the most of the development happened in last 8 to 10 months, so that's quite early stage for us, so we are developing. Coming to your first question about the integration, it's going to be very simple. I know my engineer is sitting here, but I'll try to take his job. So we have developed our API, and we are expecting or assuming that most of the retailer, or especially the mid-market, they already have APIs these days. So we just create a sub-API, so we do not interfere into the data, payment system, loyalty, inventory, etc. We just connect to the 2 APIs. It's very simple. We can turn it around within weeks if there is a proper API on that side. So there is an integration cost, yes. Your third part was talking about the white label. We can do that.
Give it a Ahsan from Q-Smash! Okay, our next startup is Constable, and I'll introduce Alessio.
Thank you. So we all know how difficult it is to buy a house, right? So Bohumil here is right. It's really difficult to afford a house nowadays. Why is that? It's because the price of buildings have been increasing like 10 times in the past 40 years. So I'm Alessio, and I'm here for Constable to present a real-time AI solution to improve the efficiency of the construction industry. It is all experts around the world agree that construction is really the least efficient sector among all the others, so even less than agriculture and mining, and that's an incredible thing. So this results in a $1.6 trillion missed opportunity every year, for a total market of $11 trillion worldwide. So this is a huge opportunity for us. If you see these 2 buildings, you might think they are quite different, but they are actually not. So you can see that they are both made of glass elements, concrete, slabs, beams, and frames. So we thought, why can't we build a database of proven solutions that are shared between different buildings? We can do that. Today we can. So even the slab where you're sitting on today, if you look at it, it's a concrete slab. it's a concrete pavement, and you can actually use proven solution from the past to redesign it quickly next time you need to do it. So we plan to apply artificial intelligence to do exactly this. And we've built an application, it's a software as a service, so we are a B2B business, and we are targeting construction enterprises like in the engineering field, architecture, others around it, which basically this is proposing a series of templates drawing from existing solutions, which we generated automatically, and which we are proposing to industries to make the design more efficient, especially in the first stages of the design. So our application is powered by our framework. We're working with TensorFlow and advanced artificial intelligence algorithms. And this has been recognized by academia, experts, and business around the world already. For example, this is a paper we presented at MIT earlier this year, which explains one of our algorithms which we use. The market is divided by engineers, architects, and all other services around the construction industry. And this is because basically we could define a time saving of about 30% for all these professions, which lead to unprecedented cost savings. Our solution is based in the UK for $12 million market, but we can grow due to limited market barriers to all around the world for a total of $1.5 billion. Our team is based by experts in structural design and software development and data science. So we really think we can change the construction industry, and thanks to that, change the world itself. Thank you.
Woo! Okay, judges. Let's see if this business is rock solid. Get it? Construction, rock solid. Oh, come on, wake up! Judges, do your best demolition.
What kind of companies are you already competing with?
Competing with. So we have different competitors, which we analyzed. We placed our company among probably a unique position, and that's because our solution is really, really innovative. But we are basically, for example, there is a company called Constru which does similar things like interoperability for the construction industry, but we do that, and in addition to interoperability, we also add a layer of automatization of the design process. And this is something that it's never been done before, and we really believe we can do it.
Just in terms of your solution, do you see it as a standalone enterprise solution, or you're planning to sit on top of, the CATIA, the PTC products, etc.? Because it's a very... If I'm Arup, I don't want to have to deal with another software yet, just to do the optimization.
Maybe not, but if we've proved that really can save a lot of time in your day-to-day job, I think Arup will be absolutely willing to take this, because this integrates with common workflow which already exist in the industry. Therefore, this speeds up the process in general, and you don't really need to basically train again people to learn new software. This is something that really speeds up existing softwares, and that's also why it's easy to scale it up around the world.
What size businesses are you targeting?
In general, engineering companies for now, but later we will target also architectural companies and MEP, which are the services, basically.
You're replacing some techniques that have been in place for decades, right? What sort of testing's involved, to prove that, your joints are superior, and even though you can get to a faster design, the building's not going to fall down? Like, what sort of work is involved there?
Because we arrive at a stage which is before proving that. Basically, when you have to prove that a design works is when you export the solution from our software to other proven software like third parties. So you will always pass through that step before. Our solution only accelerates this process. So you don't actually need that our design works, because in the end, it will be the engineer in doing the design.
Yeah, so
engineer.
true.
Yeah.
But if your design doesn't work, that's going to be a big problem for you even on the next stage, right? So kind of as you're thinking through that, what's the process there?
The design will work because basically the engineer will have to prove it works anyway. It's just that you will have a solution which is always it's more fast to be proven viable. That's how it works. Okay.
So, thank you so much. Alessio from Constable. Pop the mic down. Great. So, our next guy is on a mission to save millennials, because apparently people like me need saving. Give it up for Gonzalo from Opseeker.
YOLO. You only live once. That's the motto of my generation, millennials. We care about the now. We care about experiences. It can be watching our favorite series, going out with our friends, or playing a game in our phones. We love living the moment because life happens now, right? Wrong. It happens now, but it also happens in the future. And my generation is forgetting that we actually have one. There are millions of millennials around the world in risk of financial exclusion if we don't start doing something now. This is why we built Opseeker, the first AI-powered financial coach that empowers young individuals to have money for a lifetime. We build online tools that are based in AI and behavioral economics, which work our cognitive errors and emotional biases. Let me explain that better. We humans, we tend to be really bad decision makers. We love drinking too much. We have a hard time exercising. We love junk food. But this is just our brain. We are wired to meet short-term needs while we completely disregard long-term goals. By using behavioral economics, we are like an autocorrect for the human brain. These are our competitors, banks, robo-advisors, insurance companies, but we like to see them more as potential clients because we provide a flexible white label app that we can adapt to the needs of our clients, financial institutions, and help them regain millennials. A group that represents an opportunity of over €1 billion in just the two countries where we started operations, the Netherlands and Spain. And we can help these financial institutions to increase their revenue per millennial by 650%. How? By driving them to investment products. We do it with a SaaS model, flexible, understanding of the changing needs of the financial industry. This is our selling pipeline with 5 phases that work in perfect harmony. We have been doing this since 2017. We have already signed agreements and doing pilots with Tier 1 financial institutions in both the Netherlands and Spain. We will close this year with €40,000 in revenue, and we are forecasting €400,000 for 2019 and 2.2 million for 2020. And this wouldn't have been possible with our team, which mixes both youth and expertise. We have experience building software, structuring financial products, and leading teams in companies such as Airbus, Santander, UBS, Citi, or Amadeus, or IBM, among others. We are ready to change the way we do finance. We are ready to improve the financial health of our society. Just let us show you. Thank you.
Whoa! So, judges.
How the product would work for the end users? What exactly they would see and how exactly they would use it?
It's an app, a mobile app, that we show through the banks or the financial institutions. Is already working, and it's like a game that puts them through an experience of learning how to invest at the same time as they have an acceleration in which they experience volatility, short-term, long-term, and they get also information about diversification, why they should invest in mutual funds, and all those type of things. Yeah.
Do you think that your customers, which are the banks, will actually be able to push the app to their millennials, or you need to take another angle, maybe starting from the millennials and have more of a pool?
I think the first option is the best one. Why? Because, okay, we might hate banks, but we still have bank accounts, all of us. we have jobs, we have a bank account, and it's really easy for them to reach us. So we are already testing that they can reach them through mailing campaigns, even through WhatsApp, through calls. There are many ways of reaching them without needing to go directly to the millennial.
Okay, I'm not a millennial, but if I get my bank and that suggests me to download something that I'm supposed to play with, I will probably not do that just because it's another thing coming from my bank. If I want to take care of that, I will be proactive in seeking out advice. Or just wondering if maybe, given that you're targeting millennials, it will be something that has to start from the actual millennials in a social way from the bottom rather than being pushed from the bank.
That could be a way. I'm not saying that it's not one possible way, but we are proving that our way it's also working. Why? Because there is the need. People are starting to hear that we are not going to have a pension plan. Our governments are not going to be able to have enough money. So it's all how you structure the message. It's all how you reach the user. It's all about how you use behavioral economics. So of course it's not that easy. It doesn't come to your mind, how am I going to do it? But it's possible. And that's exactly where our know-how comes.
Two really quick questions. One is, are you partnered at all with any of the robo-advisors, which tend to be the financial organizations separate from the banks that millennials are engaging with? Are you partnering with them? Question number two, what are your engagement metrics like? Like, how often are your end users actually engaging with the application?
Okay, so the first question, we are actually in Spain partnering with one of them, yes. And in the other countries, not yet. In the Netherlands, we are working with a big bank, Rabobank, and Vivat, an insurance company. And the metrics that we have from our own beta test, because now we are launching with the banks November and December, are that 50% of them were coming every day because we have a mailing campaign that we have all around the system. It's not only the app. We, of course, have to keep them coming and keep them engaged. And for now, we don't have push notifications, which increase way more the engagement. We don't have yet WhatsApp messaging on it. So the metrics will be increasing as we get more data of users. Yeah.
Gonzalo, thank you very much. Give it for Gonzalo from OpSeeker. Guys, okay, are we awake in the audience? I said, are we awake? Who was out last night? You were all out last night, aren't you? You're all a bit hungover. Yeah, Web Summit does that to you. Right, okay, guys, so our next startup may leave you feeling a bit sheepish, but I think it's absolutely clucking awesome. I want to give it up for Miguel from FarmCloud.
Hi, my name is Miguel, and I'm the CEO of FarmCloud. Okay. Sorry. I met my co-founders because one slide is missing. I met my co-founders back in 2001 when I was looking for specific solutions for problems I had in previous companies. Having complementary knowledge for hardware, communications, and software, and myself as a business developer, we decided we should have a common company, and this is the company, FarmCloud. So we must increase drastically the food production in order to feed the world. So for the genetics, for the feed, big improvement, as well as the use of precision livestock farming for the last 25 years. The thing is, all the data is at the farm level and offline. So we thought that we could use our technology and our knowledge in order to connect all the devices that are already at the farm level using our solution, that's the farm connectors. So by just plug and play the farm connector to the existing controllers, we start receiving all the information for temperature, humidity, CO2, feed intake, and so on, real time. And on the platform, then we can have all kind of alarm settings, reports, and finally we thought, if we have the information and all the data, then we can deliver also our sustainability dashboard for the business, for the animal welfare, and also for the environment. So then you can drill down. Each time you have a problem, you go down and see exactly where is the problem. The market size, we have around 3 million poultry and pig houses. That's where we are focused. Then 2 million of those, they will have some kind of technology. And we want 10% of this market. The initial investment per house will be 200 euros for the farm connector, 300 euros annual fee per house. These are the interesting groups we've identified where we can have some kind of impact and where they can help us selling the solution. Our competition, mainly we have the indirect competition from the controllers manufacturers themselves, IoT companies, but where we can differentiate from them and where we are quite different is from those 5 different reasons. Mainly, we are doing the retrofit and is a plug and play with no risk for the client. Ongoing traction, we'll sell around 100,000 euros this year. We won 3 innovation awards. We have distribution in 4 countries. We have signed an NDA with 5 of the biggest controllers manufacturers worldwide, and we have projects running in 3 continents in some of the main integrators worldwide. We have the patent pending for the farm connector, and we are an evolution, not a revolution. Sorry.
Get him, Miguel. So, judges, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I just was wondering, what's the feedback on the UX? Like, how's the experience?
Sorry?
The experience of using this technology. Simple?
Yes. So the client for all of the players is the integrator group. And those they want, normally they have all the supply chain from the feed till the slaughterhouse. So where it was difficult to get the information, it was from the farm because it's remote, scattered. So it's quite good. What we are trying to do is to do partnerships with the main players in this market because it's a very traditional market. So it's quite important to have their support because they are able to sell where for us it's quite difficult because we are a new company.
Just wondering if you have an element of predictive analytics, not just doing the analytics per se, which is an integration play, but you're going beyond that.
Yes. One thing, so first we must have the support from those players in order to have the database and have all the information in our side. The idea, we have the API, so we are sharing the information with the stakeholders in the market, but mainly what we intend to do, because we have bidirectional communication, is to start doing machine learning, and with that we can transform their controllers in our slaves. So we can always optimize the production algorithms and then send it to all the farms worldwide. Because for us, one farm connector is a single equipment, so we are able to have globally the same command to all of them.
Why restrict yourself to pig and poultry houses versus, and again, there's a ton of IoT solutions which you would know really well, all through, large, production farms. You could connect in with agronomists and connect a whole bunch of things. Is this an API issue, or is this just you're starting and you just want to?
No, what is different in our approach is we went for poultry and pig because that's where we have already the technology. So if you want to be plug and play to escalate very fast, it's 15 minutes the installation and the risk is very low. First. The second thing is we are connecting directly to the controllers. So we've done reverse engineering on the protocol, communication protocols, and so we are only dependent on ourselves. Of course, we can attend other markets, but this specific market, you can go from 200 to 6,000 different data points. So it's more difficult also to have more competitors on this specific market. We can attend mushroom, rabbits, dairy, and so on, aquaculture, but we focus on this because of the risk for the clients. So one farm connector, if we are not able to deliver, they can send it back. It never happened, but they can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miguel, from FarmCloud, seeking to gobble up that agricultural market. So our next startup is is going to leave us feeling a little bit different. Yes, our next startup is Laszlo from the Poseidon Foundation. Guys, come on!
What if you could save the planet with your favorite ice cream? Because no matter what technologies you invest your money in, or whatever you bring to the market, if the climate falls apart, all of those technologies will fall apart as well. The problem we're facing is we don't have much time to save our environment. And the really big problem is that we know that climate change is caused by us. That number up there is the rate of deforestation. We're actually cutting down about 500 trees per second. We also know that we won't change society quickly enough to solve this problem. But what if we don't have to change society? What if we can continue doing the same things? And what if we can save the planet with every purchase that everybody does? We have combined carbon credits, technology, and you to create for the first time a scalable and accessible climate action platform. We take carbon credits, which are instruments that are traditionally used to channel funding to forest conservation projects, and we combine these carbon credits on a blockchain platform with a backend that allows us to trace the carbon credits from the forest conservation projects all the way to you, and the funds that you give to these projects all the way to the project, so you have both side traceability. And additionally, with blockchain, we're able to transact microtransactions. So I give you an example. If you go and buy yourself a pair of shoes, that's about 25 cents to reduce the climate impact to that, of that product down to a level that it actually becomes climate action. We then have an AI platform plugged on front of that allows us on the fly quantitative analysis of the climate impact of a product or service, and another AI that allows us to choose the appropriate offset project that we want to use. The exciting part is that we're putting you in control. You'll be able to see where your money goes in real time. And I'm excited to tell you it's not just a dream. We've been live since May at Ben & Jerry's in London. Every scoop of ice cream sold there is climate action. For you car lovers, we're also live with a supercar manufacturer in the UK. Again, every car there is climate action. And our biggest deal so far, the City of Liverpool has partnered with us, and we're working directly with the mayor to make Liverpool City the first climate positive city by the end of 2020. We have a sustainable financial model, we're a passionate team, and we have really powerful partners that work with us to make this dream a reality. We don't have much time to save the environment, but we have created a proven method to do this, and if we act now, we can still achieve that.
Which one of you judges is going to go first?
Why is this non-profit? Could it be for profit?
So we took a decision at the beginning to make it a non-profit because we believe if you really want to do social and environmental good and you have that as your mission, if you're a for-profit, you have some mixed agendas. It's going to be difficult for us to use the funds exclusively for social and environmental good if we're a for-profit. For example, the projects we support, Cordillera Azul is one of our big projects in the Peruvian Amazon. We've protected over 20 million trees there to date, and that project covers 13 of the 17 SDGs from the United Nations. We don't think that would be possible if we were a for-profit.
There's been a lot of organizations, nonprofit and profit, that have tried to do this carbon credit incentive program, you know, in every country in the world for the last probably 10 years, right? And so what's changed now that you think that, is it timing? Is it we're getting closer, we're 12 years away? You know, do we have enough behavior change? Like, what is it, do you think, that's going to make you successful vis-a-vis a lot of the folks that haven't been all that successful historically?
Fantastic question. I'm glad you're asking that. There are three answers for that. The first point is, yes, timing. So if you would have talked about climate change 10 years ago, apart from Ben & Jerry's, most companies out there didn't actually take that serious. The second thing is we're now able to monitor forest conservation properly. The problem before was you had carbon credits and they were not really working properly. The projects were not executed properly, and there were issues around double counting where people were selling the same carbon credit twice or more than that. It was obviously really bad, so naughty business in that world. That is now different. We now have satellite monitoring. We have people on the ground that make sure the projects are executed properly, and the carbon credits that we're using are actually issued after the year, so you get the carbon credit for the year of protection after it's done. So the quality of the carbon credits is much higher. Maybe on that point, we exclusively buy carbon credits that cover forest conservation of mature rainforests, where average age of the trees is 400 years and above. And they have to be VCS and CCB certified, which is climate, community, and biodiversity, and that's how we're hitting the SDGs. So that's the second point. The third point, and that's a really big one, nobody has cracked involving the wider public in climate action so far, and that with blockchain technology, we're able to do that.
How do you think you'll deal with skepticism and apathy out there when it comes to solving a huge problem?
Also a great question. Big problem in the climate action market is greenwashing, where people say they do something and they actually don't. We have full traceability on the blockchain platform, so anybody who is skeptical can go and see the facts for themselves.
Thank you very much, Laszlo.
You're welcome.
So our next founder is a education founder. He's hopefully going to fold you all in to his ways of thinking. I give you Amir from Foldio. Come on, guys, give him a bigger round of applause. He's brought an actual box. He's actually bought a product. It's a startup with a real product. They exist? What?
Right. Yes. Hi, guys. I'm Amir from Foldio, Germany. I'm happy to be here. Also, I brought my co-founders, and then we have some friends from Lisbon that are here to support us. Thank you. So, technology is advancing very fast, and we as adults are struggling to keep up. But how about children? How are they going to be facing the digital world? The thing is that there are a lot of startups out there, a lot of products, of robots out there that are trying to teach children programming and computer science. A big majority of them are too expensive, like these AI robots that are out there. Another part of them, which are these cheap kits that they have, they're actually nice and cheap, but they are too complicated for beginners. And based on the surveys that we had with teachers and parents, they're mostly confused, like they don't know how to operate these devices. That's why we came up Foldio with our complete pipeline. So it's based on the children's independent creative work. What we do is that we have a patent on printing sensors on paper. And how it works is like this. A child receives a paper that there is an animal printed on it. You take them out, and then they fold it together. There is a microcomputer that they have to program. The programming is very easy. It's a drag and drop interface. And they put a microcontroller in, and then this becomes their personal robot. It reacts to their touch, to their shaking, light, sound. Yes. So we have been already testing it with children. We have in private workshops and also at coder clubs. We had partners for producing the for printing our papers and for the hardware. The thing is that at the moment we are waiting for our CE certificate, and we are hoping to release it by the end of this year. The team is me, Amir. I've been in business for the past 5 years, 2 years of educational technology work directly, and then Lisa, our designer. She has been working for so long, and she's nominated for German Design Awards. Michael is working our patent, and we have a team of actually our patent holders in university who are working on these sensors. The whole idea started in Startup Weekend. We got 130,000 euro from Exist. It's a governmental fund, and then we need to find seed investors in 2019 in April. The total market at 7 billion West Europe, 3 billion. We are focusing at the moment conservatively, 7 million for the next year in Germany. A business model is going to be monthly subscription. And thank you so much.
Which one's going first?
How are you thinking about scaling complexity, right? So
Yes.
I've got kids. This would be great for a certain age. how do you get them to use it, and how are you thinking about, scaling the microcomputer that's in there, and I have it in the cat or dog now, and I later can build something a little more complex, potentially use some of the same chipset.
So the thing is, actually, this is made for at the moment. So we can add more sensors to it. It gets more complex, and then, well, the hardware itself. So, for example, 2 robots can talk to each other. So the thing is, like, the complexity has no end. But of course, after some point, you graduate, you grow out of this, right? So we are basically at the moment focusing on 7 to 12. But so we're trying to make different things with the things we have. But of course, it can grow further, and then you need, of course, more complex hardware as well. So then
Do you use Raspberry Pi or something else for a microcomputer?
Yes, it's something similar, but it's called Calliope. It's very cheap. There's because Raspberry Pi is much more expensive, so it's actually an initiative also by the German government. So they're also producing it, and it's actually helping us in the process.
It's interesting thinking about how this can scale or grow bigger. So you start on a journey with Foldio, but then can you continue to be, a partner in people getting, more comfortable with this world? And do you think Foldio is a limited name because it puts you in one product versus thinking about a bigger brand idea of what you stand for in the world, and Foldio's one product in that bigger world?
That is true. Yeah, the thing is actually part of it is because the patent that we have on our, but it is totally, think my personal vision is actually teaching AI to children in the end so that they can build the robots that they can act themselves. But this is like, it is within full, you have the right, you're right. This is, it's going to scale in that sense, yeah.
How many kids have played with it so far?
The thing is that with Calliope itself, the pilot is, so the thing is like there are 2 parts, right? The hardware, the prints that we have, it's just the coding clubs that we did, and we started 6 months ago, so it's around like 50 kids. That's not much, but the hardware itself is because there's been like work on the hardware before, and it's around 2,000 so far. It's also an initiative from the government. Is also because they're pushing the hardware as well.
But after putting it together, do they keep playing with it, or it's a one-off they do and then?
There are different scenarios. So the thing is that there is a story behind it. So for example, the fox is sleeping. You have to just wake him up, and then you touch the ears, and then you can change what the sensors do, and then you can interact with different sensors that is in the hardware. Yes. So.
Is there, in terms of the
Guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off, but thank you so much.
I'll be happy offline. I can take this. Yes, sure.
Okie dokie. So, our next startup is a chemistry startup. Who knows? Maybe you're going to have an explosive reaction to it. Oh, come on, Lisbon. Give it up for Hafnium Labs and John.
Where's the clicker?
Where's the clicker, clicker, clicker? Who's going to push the right buttons? Who's pushing the right buttons? Yay, we have a clicker. Da, 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 da.
So how does it work? Is it just next in this one?
I believe it's just push the button.
Okay, cool. Hi, my name is John Christensen. I represent Hafnium Labs, and we predict chemistry. Yeah, I know. What does that even mean? It means that instead of doing a laboratory experiment, we predict the outcome of that experiment using computer simulations. So you can test an idea in minutes instead of months. That's interesting because chemical R&D is a $150 billion industry, fundamentally limited by slow experimentation. And since chemical R&D is at the heart of everything, from discovering the drugs that save our lives to the crops and energy technologies that we all hope will save our tomorrow, predicting chemistry may not sound sexy, but it is important. Now you might ask, don't we know everything there is to know about chemistry? I mean, it's been around since forever. But with an infinite amount of molecules that you can mix in an infinite amount of ways, at infinite combinations of temperature and pressure, we've only scratched the surface of what you can do with chemistry. Imagine what we could do if we could map this great unknown with computer simulations. And that's exactly why we're here. Using a breakthrough scientific innovation, we're able to take all the best knowledge that we already do have, use advanced quantum chemistry, and apply the latest within data science and artificial intelligence to create the most accurate chemical property predictions in the world. And we're not just going to be the most accurate. We're also going to be the most easy to use, the fastest, and the most affordable. Existing solutions require experts, supercomputers, and expensive software licenses. And they're still not accurate enough. With us, you simply go online, choose the molecules and properties you're interested in, you buy at a fraction of the cost of a laboratory experiment. And within minutes or hours, you get your result based on our cloud infrastructure. We're a team of 3, all chemical engineers, chasing a dream we share from our backgrounds, as chemical engineers. Since then, I spent 6 years with the Boston Consulting Group, most recently as a manager in their AI division. Björn is a PhD and has extensive software development experience from industry, scientific software development experience. And Rasmus is a PhD and postdoc specializing in quantum chemistry and cloud computing. We've already received first sales on our alpha last year, and since then we've been in development mode and are now getting ready for closed beta with more than 20 global companies within pharma, biotech, chemicals, and energy. And we actually just had first sales despite the fact that we haven't launched yet. So now you know why predicting chemistry is important. You know how Hafnium Labs is going to change the status quo. And now I'd like to tell you more about our business model and our scientific innovation, but my 3 minutes are up, so you'll have to come ask me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When I was still doing my master thesis, we're talking more than 20 years ago, computational chemistry was already there. It was more a matter of brute force than anything else. So what have you really done in terms of technology, and do you have an IP that is protecting what you have, other than maybe just have some smarter cloud-based approach?
You're touching a core question there, of course. Yes, so, and you're also asking 2 questions that makes me not able to answer both of them. Because yes, we are in a patent process, and we do have proprietary technology here. And for that same reason, everything I can say can and will be used against me, so I cannot say exactly what it is that we do. What I can say is that it's game-changingly more accurate. And I love the fact that you say 20 years ago, because that's right around the time where we would say the last real invention was made in this field. So you haven't missed out on anything. Good thing you're here today.
From an AI perspective, you know, what are you guys doing in terms of building that proprietary data set to teach your algorithms? I mean, that's been the issue that everybody's had, because it's the big, you know, energy companies that have the proprietary data. It's the pharma companies that have the proprietary data, not the startups. And how are you guys dealing with that and avoiding the issue that a lot of startups in the space have, which is they get into a service provider relationship with these organizations who don't want to share that data?
Excellent question. It also touches on how our business model is. What you see here is sort of, to say, our first product. And that uses publicly available data and, or you could say publicly purchasable databases. And there is actually a very large amount of this for chemistry. A large part of company databases consists of exactly that data. So in that sense, we're kind of able to touch that level. But our next up product is a cloud implementation product, where the customer, instead of a one-off prediction, actually has the software working in their cloud and running on their servers for full confidentiality, and also for inclusion of their own data sets. So that's basically the next step. And then in terms of how to use that from an AI perspective, you're absolutely right. The more knowledge and data that we build over time, that's one of the key changes with our technology compared to previously. We just get better and better and better. And that's actually stage 3 of our business model, is that at some point we will become so good that this will realistically turn into what I would call a patenting machine. And at that point, of course, we need to think about a business. We will go into a business model that is more of an R&D partnerships / licensing model.
Awesome. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
We've had a bit of a marathon, haven't we? 9 startups back to back. Judges, how are you feeling after 9 startups? Good. Energized. Pumped. Right, so we have our last startup of the session, sorry. And it is Steve from Helsinki. Come on, guys, last startup of this round.
Hello. Thank you, judges, and thank you, audience, for being here today. My name is Steve Peak, founder and captain of this here Helsinki. We're a 10-person crew, LGBTQ friendly, with senior management of women and mixed people of all different types of diversity. And we're on a mission to revolutionize application development. Application development is incredibly difficult. Every single business in the world understands this. Take the simple example of optimizing delivery routes or optimizing ride-sharing rides. As you can see, the application gets very complex very quickly, and not even mention to manage at scale becomes much more difficult. There must be a better way. There hasn't been much innovation in software as far as languages go and how to abstract business logic out of the application itself. Meet StoryScript, the first super high-level language that is intuitive and syntax light, bridging the gap between man and machine. With StoryScript, you can link anything from databases to machine learning to social media to IoT or to any custom microservice or function. Under the hood, we have Helsinki, which manages and runs these StoryScripts for you. This is composed of 3 powerful industry tools. The Helsinki Hub, which is a marketplace full of everything, any container, any function, any application. The Helsinki Dashboard, which is our application KPIs, where developers and C-level managements can use data-driven information to make decisions for the company. We also have our Helsinki Engine, which is a fully orchestrated environment. We're doing application choreography now, and under the hood, we're a Kubernetes plugin at the end of the day. With Helsinki, this is an auto DevOps environment. The language itself defines the architecture, defines the cloud itself. And our fully open source platform enables anybody to dream bigger and go further. Imagine the possibilities this can be for the industry. Be able to build products quicker, ship to market quicker. The advantages are endless. Imagine this in the hands of data scientists to make real-world decisions in the field and have applications that are meaningful. Or the marketer in the front office, giving them the opportunity to create powerful integrations between different social medias. We hope that you join our journey, and it's time to write your first story. Please visit us at helsinki.com, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Woo! Judges.
How many users do you have on the system today that are actively using, and kind of how often are they in the platform?
Yeah, so we're in private beta right now, so these are more or less hobbyists. It's very exciting to see their energy behind it, but we're still in this early phase.
How are you planning to build up the marketplace side? Because obviously it goes back to the point. You need to have users to do that. Unless you have users, you can do that. So the usual chicken and egg.
There is, yeah. I built one of the top 5 most used apps in the GitHub ecosystem, so I have a really strong relationship with developers already. And I already have the opportunity to capture that market as well again. But a lot of these things are actually not terribly difficult to create, and so you have to prove that value and show that value in a really strong way. But this is the next level of abstraction that's going to happen. And that's,
It's interesting because your time to tell your story, there's a lot of humanity and how you're putting things around it, but the presentation itself is very cold. Like, there's not an emotional story behind sort of your setup. And I was just curious. I'm curious about how this conversation really looks, because it was very blank.
Well, I mean, we're trying to be very high level and specific, right? We're like, and the space theme gives us the opportunity to be vast and very open and frontier in the future. But I mean, the illustrations we have with the man and machine and bridging that gaps is very fundamental to who we are. And this language itself is very intuitive and almost reads like English. So our approach at this entire business is from a human approach, not the machine approach. So it more or less, it'd be completely contrary to that topic, right? Where we're taking that approach as from a human. Yeah.
What kind of solutions developers would need to drop in order to use your ones?
So we're not expecting anybody to just redefine their entire stack. We're asking what's the next feature, the next integration, the next startup, the next thing you want to build, and to approach it in with this new concepts. And if we can prove that to you, we can deliver software in days rather than months, something that you're just going to get stuck in that loop, and which we have done. We have built applications in an afternoon that are extremely high scalable and on these frameworks that are very powerful.
You clearly have a lot of experience kind of selling into devs or getting them to use your product. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge here as you guys move from, beta into...
Well, we're creating a category product, and that's the biggest challenge. But nonetheless, there is no argument that technology is going to continue to abstract. We're not done today. So the question really becomes are we, the opinions we're making and the strategy with our branding and the human approach of our language itself, is that the right direction? But this category will be created, and we want to be the thought leaders in that category and bringing it more accessible to anybody in the world to build applications in this way.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steve. Wow. 10 awesome startups. Everything from chemistry to climate change, from education to basically taking away one of my fundamental pleasures in life as an English person, queuing. I mean, really. So the judges there are now busily combining their scores, adding them up, working out, and within a couple of minutes, we'll hopefully have the 4 startups that will go on to the semi-finals later on today up on the center stage. Judges, how's your calculations going? Do you have your numbers? Oh, they have their iPads, busy calculating, computing away. Judges, are we down? Do we have our scores in?
I believe so.
Excellent. Yes. I feel like I should do this like Eurovision. And the vote from the Omers Ventures jury. No, I'm kidding. Don't worry, we're not going to do that. Do we have the winners? No? 1 whole minute. So judges, tell me, what was the most hilarious thing that you heard today that you didn't think you'd hear? This morning, yes. Anything hilarious or unexpected you heard from the startups? Ideally entertaining, because there's far too much seriousness. Once again, VCs reminding the world they're very, very serious people. We really are honest. Okay, what was the highlight?
I mean, there was a lot of good pitches today. So a lot of great companies. I think people forget how difficult it is to build a startup. And all of the individuals up here have done an exceedingly great job of building their organizations. That's what I'd like people to leave.
That's what came out. Cool. Awesome, guys. On the floor, any of you guys, any comments? Anything you thought was entertaining? Innovating, changed the way you think? They're still bloody hungover, aren't they?
You've been on the other side, right?
Oh, yeah. I was here 5-6 years ago.
Now, what do you think?
So I'm a developer, okay? I have no social skills whatsoever, okay? I used to be unable to talk in public about this stuff.
You're getting over it.
Pardon?
I said you're getting over it.
I know. After a bit of practice. I mean, the thing that I always found really, really scary was this whole idea of, look, I'm a developer. I know my tech. I know what I'm doing. And trying to help people, I was scared of you guys, genuinely speaking. I called you guys wolves because that's what I used to think you guys were. And the one thing that's really fascinating that I've learned over time is that these guys, here's the thing, now I'm on your side, right? One thing I've learned is that we're actually more afraid of you than you're afraid of us. Here's the reality. You guys know stuff that we never can know. You guys see things that we can't. So for us, every day you guys get up here, you talk. Some of you are nervous. Some of you are like, well, I've done this so many times before. But the reality is every time you get up there, we're in awe. I can't do that. Not on such a variety, not so many things. And we're learning, and it feels genuinely humbling and amazing. I'm sure you guys can rephrase this. That's the reason why we do this job. Trust me, the money, this is the worst way of getting rich quick. That's a much better way of getting rich quick. This is get rich slow. Like 10, 15 years. About right, guys? If. Well, so I work for 500 startups. We've got like 10 unicorns in our portfolio, so we're a bit different. Anyway, we have the winners! Oh, hang on.
1, 2, 3.
Excellent. I feel like I'm, a film star at an award ceremony with a magic golden envelope. So, judges, I think you've got very good taste in startups. In fact, I like them. I like your choices. So, what we're going to do now is invite the 4 startups that will be on stage, on the center stage at 5 p.m. for the semi-final. Guys, virtual drum roll, come on! Come on, guys, everybody! Oh yes, you got the music! Yeah, guys, build that tension! Tension building! Starter number 1, going to the next stage, Gonzalo from Opseeker! Come on, guys, give it up! Next, we have Miguel from FarmCloud. Woo! Still on stage, buddy. Stay on stage, guys. Cool. We have Laszlo from the Poseidon Foundation. Woo! And last but not least, who will it be? Which of our last remaining contenders? After the break! It's not quite the X Factor. It is John from Hafnium Labs. Come on up! Give it up for these 4 startups going through to the next round of the pitch competition. Unicorns in the making, we hope. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to take some photos now. So 5 o'clock, center stage. See you there. Center stage, semi-final. Quick plug, anybody you want to talk to 500 startups, we have open office hours. Come in and walk to our booth. We're a very open VC fund. You don't need to know somebody to talk to me or any of my colleagues. But, end of pitch, give it up for these 4 amazing startups. Opseeker, FarmCloud, Poseidon, and Hafnium. I think there's some photos. Is that photos?
You did your best.
I tried.
It was a tough crowd.
It's a really tough crowd.